a quiet memorial park in Columbia stands a new statue that honors an often forgotten war team, the war dog and his handler.
Each of you are doing things that are depending on each other's life, and you're saving the guys behind you.
I saw her from a distance.
I've had dogs all my life, and you love all of them, but there's no bond like that would be with your canine in a battle zone.
The bronze 7-foot structure was unveiled in Columbia on Veterans Day to commemorate the dogs that have served in the United States military throughout the decades, but particularly the 4,000 dogs that served in the Vietnam War.
She said, Lord, my boy was special, and he meant so much to me. And though I'd love to see him just one more time, you see, all I have are the memories.
The dogs were trained to learn how to detect tripwires, explosives, and supply lines, and saved countless lives, often at the expense of their own. Drafted in 1969, Mayo was a dog handler in the Vietnam War with 2 dogs.
Only had 2 missions with Tiger. They were two-day missions each, and on the second day of the second mission, he hit a tripwire and died from the complications of the shrapnel.
And Kelly, who Mayo completed his tour with.
For all of us that served as dog handlers, we only knew our little small piece of the puzzle. We didn't know the big picture of the dogs until 1999 when Discovery Channel aired a documentary. And that told us handlers and the world 10,000 American lives were saved in the Vietnam War by the military working dogs.
Military dogs, usually German Shepherds, were donated by American families to be trained and used in the war overseas. Out of the 4,000 dogs that were donated and trained, then deployed to Vietnam, only 204 survived the war.
And we assumed and imagined that the dogs would have been adopted by somebody on the base and lived out his life. And there was no way for all those 30 years for us to know that it was any different.
But after the war, the dogs who had survived were merely seen as surplus equipment by the government and were put down upon returning to the United States.
And that magic word was equipment. And as equipment and not needed anywhere else, it was policy to euthanize the dogs as the units rotated back. That unit's dogs would be put down.
Because of the service and the sad endings of these brave dogs, whether on the front lines or after the war, it was the dream of Mayo to honor these dogs and their handlers.
Everything that's detailed puts the scout dog there on the forefront with the statue. And we call it War Dog Monument, but it's for the team, because the team, one's not there without the other.
The statue is currently the largest war dog memorial in the country. Today, war dogs are still used in modern conflicts across the military. Once the tour is over, though, the dogs are now put up for adoption, and oftentimes the handler will adopt them because their bond is so strong. As for Mayo, he now travels around telling his story with his 11-year-old trained shepherd, Luke. He wants to raise awareness about the importance and bravery of the war dog, and to let veterans know that there's a memorial honoring their team.
Everybody has a different memory, but everybody's dog, to them, their dog was the best. That was the only one you had, you know. So, and I feel the same way. And just to see a memorial like this that I never thought would happen, it's made me a changed person.
To Mayo and the other veterans and handlers that came out to honor the fallen, it wasn't about the impressive size of the monument or location or prestige of being one of a kind. It was, and will forever be, about remembering the 4-legged soldiers who went bravely before their comrades into harm's way, risking their life to serve, to protect, and to save countless men and women.
The Vietnam Wall in Washington would probably be at least 100 feet longer if all those names had been added onto it that were saved.
Tell him he's more than a name on the wall.
For Palmetto Scene, I'm Katie Gear.